Hi everyone, Soldier17 here. Let me go as usual. No, I don't have the picture, and yeah, non-pay video. So it's kind of a lot of stuff happened today. I wanted to work this on earlier, but was kind of enjoying my last day without. Had to let my phone charge. So yeah, I may make this be only hero versus villains, or all the way up to the USJ. So I'm going to try to make this quick, because I want this to upload quick, so I can get into the... How can I say this? I want this to get the video for... Yeah. Get to the... I'm going to make part 2 at least for the Overlord. He's a guide. Because I didn't get everything I wanted to in that one. So, yeah. So, let's get this thing started, and this is part 3. Alright, so last time we left off is just the introductions of Nezu knowing about the Aftons, and that Izuku's grandfather was, older than he looked, and was a number 3 hero, and, well, the first day of the UA. So the Quirk apprehension test, examination test, Mineta Minoru did not pass. So he was kicked out of the hero course and was replaced, and he's going to be replaced. Now, for the actual, because we would have hero versus villains the next day. So we go to when they arrive at class. They basically don't see Mineta, but then they see a girl with white hair and black eyes. That's basically they saw previously in class 1B, which everyone's kind of confused. Where Shimaizawa comes in, he goes, "Oh, you're here. Good. Everyone, meet Ryoko Yamagi." Wait, I think I said Yamagi? Hold up. Alright, Ryoko Yanagi. So, Mineta Minoru was taken out of hero course and put in general studies. So as of today, she's part of class 1A. I looked over what she can do, and, well, it actually seems like she has a lot more potential than Mineta. So, I basically brought her in. And someone, basically, from another course was put in class 1B. So, hope you all can get along, even though, basically, we're not here to make friends, but still. You all will work with each other sometimes. So, introduce yourself, and also your quirks. Alright, well, I'm gonna take a nap, as he goes into the Caterpillar mode. So, everyone looks at Ryoko, basically it's like, she goes, "Hi." And, basically, everyone says hi to her. So we will go through the quirks. Everyone keeps, talking about their quirks and such. If I remember correctly, she can move small objects. I just was trying to look up the name. I'm gonna make sure about that. Alright, so basically when Ryoko goes up, she goes, "Hi. My name's Ryoko Yanagi, and my quirk is called Poltergeist. It allows me to move small objects that are nearby, and there's a weight limit to it." So, basically, everyone says, "That's so cool," basically. And she goes, "Thanks." So Bako says his quirk and such. And, well, when Izuku goes up, he basically goes up and basically says, "Well, you all know it. My name is Izuku Midoriya. My quirk, it's complicated. There's many things to it. But the main thing it's called is Remnant. And I do technically have some unique traits to it. I'm allowed to, well, how should I say, transform, basically." Which, they're like, everyone's kind of confused, and Yuzuko's like, "Well, how should I explain this? I'm able to do whatever I want. I can make fire, ice, basically, any elemental. I'm able to even make weapons come out of nowhere, as then basically he shows by demonstration as legit a knife appears in his hand and then disappears as it was glitched. And he goes, and, well, I'm, I mean, there's at times where basically I can even make things just teleport somewhere else. I have a little bit of teleportation, and basically he would control something with his mind. A little bit of telekinesis. It's a lot I don't know, but it's really unique and, well, fascinating quirk, I think. Which, as I is listening to this, he goes, okay, this is making sense. I'm starting to figure out who he is. More of what he's capable of. Basically, as Alba has been researching Izuku, basically he has seen about the bullying at his school and such, found out. He did it all in one night. He basically doesn't understand why Bakugo is there, but in a sense, he's thinking the guy deserves. I mean, he'll find out why Izuku hasn't said anything. And, well, the fact is, he also found out that, yeah, Izuku's an Afton, so just Shoto's basically trying to figure out, some stuff about Izuku, I would say. Because it caught his interest. And he goes, basically, I think when someone raised up their hand, and it would be Mina, he was like, yes, Mina. She goes, so these transformations, what they're like? He goes, oh, I could turn into an animatronic rabbit. They're like, huh? He goes, yeah, wanna see? Basically like, okay. I mean, she says that, everyone else does, and he goes, it's kind of freaky. Must warn you, it's not pretty. You'll probably see something like out of a horror movie. So be ready. As all of a sudden he transformed to Springtrap. Since Izuku's basically, actually is Springtrap because of remnants and everything, there is no corpse. So when they basically see him, it's in human form, and he's like, ta-da! But his voice sounds all, graggly and like, sounds like it's from a speaker. Which Ryoko's actually eyes wide, and she goes up and she goes, Can I touch it? And he's, huh? Can I touch your arm? He's like, sure. So she does, and it's real. And she goes, oh my god, it actually feels like it's old. He goes, yeah, I don't know how it happened, but hey, works. For some reason I don't really know what the capabilities, what I can do with this, but I mean, it seems pretty stronger than usual, than I am in my human form. And I think I have a lot more of capabilities to do different things. Which I think then, like, basically, one of the guy with the Sugar Rush quirk was like, is there anything else you can do? He was like, oh yeah, I can transform into another form. As then all of a sudden it starts glitching, and then basically he comes into Glitch Trap. He goes, see? Basically, the Nomads, it just, basically whiskers and, out and stuff. Which everyone's actually got a shot. I just think this, Tokiami, like, you look like a weasel. He goes, to be fair, I am not, but I'm a rabbit, but whatever. But I mean, if you guys are wondering if the ears are real, all of a sudden he moves the ears, which, basically I think Bakugo would just have a grin and just like, hey, Zuku, but can you still have them while in your human form? He's like, he thinks to himself, oh, I'm gonna get you back, Bakugo. He goes, yes. He goes, and all of a sudden, a pale water hits him, from above. He goes, what the? Who? And Zuku basically just grinning at him and just waving hi, which everyone can see it, including Aizawa. Bakugo's like, he was like, I didn't do nothing. Did anyone see anything? Which they're like, no, but it's like, Bakugo's like, okay, I'll get you. So yeah, he transforms back. He goes like, oh, so there's some unique thing to it, but I don't really know for sure. Basically, Cassidy's like, okay, that's overpowered. I guess I was right. I mean, he was right about if Afton basically went to my own, basically, place I was going to put him in, he would have got so much stronger. So yeah, basically he goes like, well, that's all about my quirk, so he basically goes and sits down. Basically, Ryoko's looking at Izuku, and then, for a few minutes, and goes back to her seat. So yeah, So the day goes on for a bit of like one period, whereas Aoi goes like, "All right, class, I won't be teaching you today. Someone else will." Which they all hear these massive amount of footsteps, and Izuku goes like, "Oh, I think I know who it is." And well, it is All Might. So basically, I don't think I made Izuku had any beef with All Might. So I'm not going to say anything else, but for some reason, I think Izuku is just looking at All Might, but then all of a sudden he starts seeing other spirits. Which he's like, what the? Which he's shaking his head and, rub his eyes, which everyone's wondering about him. He's like, Izuku, like, one of the, like, probably Hagakure will ask, "Hey, Izuku, you okay? Hey, Midori, you okay?" He's like, "Yeah, just thought I saw something. Weird." But the past users are looking at Izuku. They're seeing, that they can actually, be seen by him. So, yeah, they actually start to talk in, I would say, the void for the, and one for all about this. And they're saying, like, basically, he can see us. How's that possible? They don't know, all that. So Izuku was actually thinking, okay, so maybe in a sense I'm seeing spirits basically who have died. But they had to have remnants inside. They already have to have remnants unless they basically something else is happening. They're staying here for reasons unknown, and they have died already a painful death. That could be possible. I have to look into this further. But one of them looked like Nana Shimura. And then he kind of like takes a few seconds to think. He was like, "Of course, she died on an island that exploded. If she was there, and whoever that killed her, she would be here still. Huh. Maybe I can. No, that's too risky. It also showed that I am basically an embodiment of remnant if I basically put her soul into an animatronic to actually get some more clues. But maybe I could actually have her possess something just to get a better understanding. I will need to look into this further. A mystery has been added to my list." Oh, this is gonna be fun. So, he's thinking that mentally grinning. So, All Might was talking about everything, and, well, everyone gets a suit. Izuku, a suitcase, basically. Izuku, for some reason, he just decided to wear a night guard's outfit, basically. Reasons why, he can literally transform. So, and he can basically legit just fix his clothing. So I don't really think he's gonna, need any, high-tech gear or stuff. But, he will be having some support items. And a combat knife, basically, too, like Aizawa has it. So, yeah. So, everyone changes. Izuku's very simple. He comes out in just a night guard's outfit, which I would say is just purple. Purple shirt, black pants, and boots. Basically, he has a utility belt, basically, of some stuff. Some, basically, you could say, shock. Basically, I would say not like shock arrows, like shock grenades or something. Smoke grenades, all that stuff. And, he is thinking about actually getting... he actually is looking into it if he actually can get a firearm that actually can shoot, basically, shock bullets. Because they are rubber bullets, so he thinks it can be actually made by, stuff that actually works. But his, basically, shirt can take a few hits. It can literally get shot and it'll keep him, perfectly fine. And he does basically wear a mask that literally is basically just, basically, actually can be, a gas mask. Keep it if there's, anyone who has a knockout gas Quirk like Midnight. He just puts that on and boom, it protects him. Which everyone kind of doesn't understand why he's doing it. He was like, simplify. Remember, I could turn into two different forms. Which they all agree to that. And I could do many different things. So, yeah. So basically, Cassie's like, saying to him, actually it's kind of true, but still, do you think you should actually get a little bit more upgrade to it? I mean, you can use your, well, I think glitch form to basically hack into things, which Izuku kind of thinks. He goes, huh, so maybe I should get a remote computer, have it on me at all times, or, maybe to get some high-tech glasses or something? But she goes, yeah. He goes, thanks, Cass. She goes, no problem, which he was whispering that, but Ryoko heard that. She goes, Cass? Huh. That's kind of short for, could it be? Now, just to tell you guys, Ryoko basically is a horror fan, so she likes basically horror movies, scary stuff. I kind of read. Basically, like, ghosts, horror movies, anything doing that is spooky, basically, if you can say it. So yeah, so she kind of would have read up on, basically, what William Afton did, and one of the victims will be Cassidy. So she thinks Cass is basically short for Cassidy. So yeah, so, in a sense, basically, the same things are in canon, well no. It's Izuku Midoriya, Ryoko Yanagi, versus Momoya Rozu, and Hagakure. Which Izuku just kind of realizing, wait, can I even see invisibility, people? When he kind of he kind of glanced at Hagakure, used Remnant with his eyes, he basically actually blushes a bit. He goes, oh god. He turns it off, he goes like, okay, she looked cute, but what the heck? I can actually, he basically thinking, I can actually see her. So Ryoko's saying, Izuku, you okay? I mean, not Izuku, Midoriya, are you okay? He goes, yeah, I'm fine. He's like thinking to himself, calm down. Okay, you just found that out, you did not know. I probably should tell her about maybe her hair would actually help create some clothing from it. Or maybe I can alter her quirk with Remnant. He literally was thinking that. He says, I can't believe I actually did that. I can't believe it. I didn't really believe I could. He started mumbling about it now. Which, kind of already in front of the building while he was basically thinking that to calm himself down. And no one knows, but like Ryoko can, hearing him. Because everyone's in the observation room. And Bakugo only sees the mumbling. He goes like, oh crap. Zuko's basically thinking about something. Which basically Kirishima was like, really, Bakugo bro? He's like, yeah. Something must have happened. Which Mina's like, what do you mean? Because the only thing that basically Zuko will actually do that if he sees a new quirk and he can make an observation of it. Or he figure out something. Most likely he figured out something with his power. What was the last thing the nerd did? I mean, what's the last thing that Zuko did? Well, I think Uraku was like, I saw him take a glance at Hagakure. And basically his eyes glow purple. In which Bakugo kind of puts the pieces together. He just starts laughing. Which everyone's kind of wondering, even All he was like, oh my god, he actually saw her. Which everyone's like, huh? He goes, okay. No offense to him. We cannot blame him since he says he doesn't know how much he can do with his quirk, remember? Which everyone knows. He goes like, so he must have just found out he can see people that are invisible. Like maybe infrared or something. Which everyone's actually kind of shocked, even Mina. She goes, you mean he probably saw her face, her hair, and her shoulder, and then looked away real quick, which he looks at Ochaku, how long did he look? She says a second. He was like, yep, then he probably only saw her face. And then he looked away, and he felt embarrassed. In which, basically, Mia's like, I can't be mad, since he did say he didn't know, but still, he's probably gonna tell her not even use that. Basically, if I know him, he's not a perv, so don't worry. Which, Mina's like, good. But, do you think he feels bad? He's like, look at him. Which he's literally mumbling and trying to figure out. basically, they can hear, like, Ryoko goes, "Hey, Midori, you okay?" He's like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm just trying to figure out a way to actually help some Hagakure and her quirk." She goes, "Huh? What do you mean?" He's like, "Well, I don't know what I can do with my quirk remnant. I'm kind of thinking maybe I can alter her quirk where she can turn it on and off, or at least try to figure out if she can use her hair fibers to make an actual suit, an outfit for herself." Which they're like, which basically she's like, "What do you mean?" He goes, I can see her." She goes, "Huh? I can literally see her. Physically. I saw her face and hair, and I looked away real quick, and then I realized I could actually see her when she's invisible. I was lucky we were actually near her." She goes, "Wait, how did you?" "Well, I just focused my quirk in my eyes, and it was glowing purple. So I was seeing more than I could. I could probably see infrared, and that's what I was doing. Or basically the, how do you say, electricity. You can say, like, we all have, like, electric neurons around us, or something like that, basically, or light reflection. I don't know how I did it. I don't even know what it was, but all I know is I could see her, and I did not mean to do anything wrong. I didn't even think it was even gonna work. Oh man, I feel so bad. Well, at least it didn't happen while I was fighting her, right? Which she kind of nods and goes like, "How you feel?" It's like, "Horrible. I feel like basically I did something wrong, and I really should apologize to her for, basically I should have asked permission." She goes, "Well, you didn't know," and he's like, "No, that's not right. That's not right, and I should apologize." So, plan. Basically, if Hagakure is, gonna be anywhere near us, I'll create a field of remnant, I'll create a field of energy around us so she can't, touch us. And then basically our problem will be Momo only. I could basically probably shoot out projectiles. Or something. But still. I feel like I'm a horrible person. Which Ryoko pats him on the shoulder. She goes, "It's fine. She'll understand. I mean, you're also trying to help her now, right?" He goes like, "Uh-huh. I'm just hoping she's not mad. I hope everyone else doesn't think horrible of me. I mean, I said I didn't know what I can do with it. There's a lot of possibilities I haven't even tested yet with this power. Well, I mean, Quirk, but still." She goes, "Huh, I see. I mean, I understand, but how long do you have your Quirk?" It was like, "Oh, late bloomer. Sort of. It unlocked when I was in in my lowest moment of my life. So, it took about 13 years for it to awaken." Her eyes went. She goes, "That means you were, yeah, put through horrible, horrible situations of life. But hey, I mean, I got my quirk activated, and bada bing, bada boom, I'm here. So it's not really a bad, basically, deal going through bullying and name calling, and us basically people ignoring you and no one really talking to you much. Besides, calling you basically weak, pathetic, loser, quirkless, idiot, all that stuff." She's like, "How bad was it?" He was like, "Oh, enough basically for my quirk to activate. It had to be really bad." Went to the quirk doctor and found out. She goes, "Wow." He goes, "Yep. Anyways, though, enough about that. Let's just get this bomb." She was right. So, in a sense, he made the feel of energy around them. Hagakure did try to, actual attack. And right when she basically tried to hit it with her fist, all of a sudden a shockwave happened, which when it hit, it basically goes towards her, the shockwave, something unusual happens to her. Hagakure basically, yeah, she she basically starts to become visible. And as soon as that happens, Izuku's really put down the barrier, legit, made a cloth glitch into existence and throw it on her. And he's like, he basically had his eyes closed. Well, he looked away when he threw it. Which Hagakure is like, ow, what? Midoriya, why are you looking away? He was like, just please wrap that around you. She goes, huh? He goes, please, wrap it around you. She goes, why? It's not like you can see me, which Ryoko's like, wow, you look... I didn't know you looked like that, which all of a sudden Hagakure is like, huh? So Izuku brings out a mirror and, shows her. And she's like, I can be seen. I can see myself. Basically, all of a sudden, I'm gonna say she starts to turn invisible. She goes, no, not again. As in it stops. She goes, huh? Which Izuku's like, Hagakure, can you just basically turn around and she's, oh, right. So she does, turn around holding basically the blanket based around her. Izuku literally bends down, basically showing her back to him, and he puts his basically hand on her back as basically Cassidy's like, what are you doing? He's like, send some basically my remnant inside of her. A small dosage. This would allow me to basically see her quirk and understand what's going on. He goes, I hopefully didn't basically harm her. Hagakure is hearing him. She's like thinking, who is he talking to? But then all of a sudden, she started hearing a little girl's voice. She's like, huh? So basically Izuku, actually gets a sense of basically what happened. He can feel a remnant around Hagakure's quirk as it's basically altering it to her basically desire to be seen, to where she wanted to, everyone to see her, even see herself. So that way it's, because she hasn't seen herself in a long time. She was able to be seen by everyone until her quirk was activated, where she became fully invisible. So it basically, after it stops, the remnant actually seeps into her quirk, it stabilizes and actually makes it where she can become, she can turn it on and off. Which Izuku was actually shocked. He goes, holy cow. Well, actually, holy crap. Your quirk can be shut off and on. She goes, huh? You can actually... Okay, Hagakure, because of my, basically, when you hit that field with your fist, that shockwave that you did, even though it was not supposed to be a lot, I made sure it would rebound your attack right back at you. So, in a sense though, because my attack hit you, the energy of it went, basically became a part, like, went into you like a normal, basically, you say from a video game does. When it hits you, it goes right through you. Just, yeah, I get that. It basically alters your quirk. You can basically shut it off and on. She was like, really? Yeah, just think of on and off switch. So when she does, just not her, but the blanket that's covering her also goes invisible. Which he goes, and objects can go invisible too? Which she goes, wait, really? All of a sudden, it comes back on. She comes back to being seen. He goes, yeah. Basically, Ryoko was like, wow, that's amazing. Did you? Because I had no idea I could do that. Like, I had no idea I could see her. Well, she goes, wait, you could see me before? He was like, yeah, just when I used my quirk in my eyes. It was like I was seeing light or the electric neurons, or basically electric field around you. She goes, so that means I only saw your face. I was only looking forward. So, and by the height of the clothing that you have, basically, I remember when you basically were wearing your uniform, your neck should have been around as he gives where it was, so he only saw above her neck. She actually is blushing, but just thanks. He goes, but I am sorry, I really am, I did not mean to, I did not know, and he kind of goes on and apologizing like the old Izuku would. That rapid fire, sorry mode. And she goes, it's fine. You helped me with my quirk unknowingly, and, well, I have a better use of it now, and anything I basically have on or around me will go invisible. So, thanks. And, you didn't know anyways. You did say you didn't even know what you can do with it. He goes, yeah. So, are you done? She goes, mm-hmm. she basically asked, she cannot have her arms basically tied up. Basically, though, he says that's alright. So all of a sudden All Might says, Hagakure has been basically captured. And a little bit of complications have happened. Which everyone in the observation room, or monitor room, basically is actually kind of shocked him in Bakugo. But Mina's like, he helped her, apologized all at once, and improved her quirk. His quirk is really amazing, don't you think, everyone? Which basically everyone nods. Kirishima, that's so manly. It's Niki's like, maybe I can improve my quirk where I don't short circuit myself. Which basically Jiro would probably say, I think he did it unintentionally. If he did it intentionally, he would have probably tried it on someone else, but I don't think he was willing to basically put the harm into it. Which Bakugo just says, yeah, the nerd really didn't, understand his quirk during the 10 months. He trained with it as much as he could. So everything he can do is still new to him. He doesn't even know how much limits he even has. Which, basically, Mishima goes like, so that's what you mean he didn't even know he could do that? He goes, nope. There's probably a lot more he can do that it's going to be taking time for him to understand. Which, everyone can agree, and All Might saying, Midoriya. His basic quirk is very useful, very practical, multiple use. If he's a late bloomer, though, and it took this long for him to activate it, he's rapidly growing. I already gave one for all to someone else, but still. This is very... Maybe it's not one quirk, but multiple quirks. Could he be working for all for one? No. I'll have to find out more, but... If he could see Hagakure and he did not know it, that would explain his face was red when he was walking away. Embarrassment. But I feel sorry for him then. There's so much he needs to learn, and he didn't realize he could actually do that. Basically, Momo, meanwhile, is actually confused why. So, she waits, and Ryoko and basically Zuko get into the room. Basically, I want to say Momo actually set up some traps. So Zuko, basically when he opens the door, a flashbang drops, and he basically closes the door very quickly. Well, no, as the flashbang is dropping, Zuko literally goes to the side of Ryoko as the flashbang goes off. Momo already closed her eyes. But Zuko's like, nice job, Yaoruzu. Excellent work. She goes, thank you, Midoriya. Basically, they come in, and he goes, so let me guess, you booby-trapped the whole entire place? She goes, yes. Now, give up, heroes. As basically, she has the staff out, and basically she goes, but if I may break character for a little bit more, what happened to Hagakure? He goes, side effect of my quirk happened where I didn't even know. I kind of altered her quirk by accident? Where she goes, how so? To the point where she can actually be seen by everyone and basically turn off her quirk. Turn it off and on, and everything around her, or should I say on her, can turn invisible. Which she's actually blinking, and she basically goes like, he goes, I don't even know what I can do. Like, this is legit new to me. I was actually shocked, surprised, amazed, and I'm not going to do it to anyone else because that could be dangerous. She goes, I see. Thank you for helping Hagakure, and also, is there anything else you didn't know about it today? He goes like, yeah, I didn't know I could actually see her. Huh? Her hair and face and stuff, eyes glowing, as if he shows purple, as he can basically, again, see the light and electric field around Momo. Give it a minute, guys. Okay, so basically, he just kind of like, yeah, seems I can see things. She's like, what? He goes like, well, I guess light reflection off of people, and the electric field, and, emotions. Interesting. And he actually sees, like, the actual electric wires, the electricity flowing into them. He goes, and actually where the electricity is coming from. And he basically can see through the since he can see through the walls, he actually sees everyone in the monitor room. He goes like, also everyone in the monitor room in that direction, well, right there, as he's just pointing into the direction where it is. Which Momo's like, so unintentionally you found something new. He was like, yep, and you did not know how horrible I felt about it. She goes, really? He goes, basically Ryoko goes like, yeah, he kept mumbling about something about trying to figure out how to help her, and maybe her hair fibers could work, a suit basically that can actually go invisible on her or something. He did this mumbling thing. He was like, old habit. She goes, well, as long as you felt bad about it and you didn't do it on purpose. He goes, yeah. Anyways, I think we should really wrap things up. She goes, huh? As when he basically stomps his foot on the ground, basically there you can see basically a pulse basically shot out of basically Izuku's foot, because it was glowing. As then all of a sudden Ryoko sees, well, everything's glowing around them for a few minutes, but then everything's like, stops, but a few things are actually glowing. He goes like, Ryoko, use your basically your quirk on everything that's glowing. She goes, right. So basically, a few basically items that were basically on the roof, basically, would, come down from it, and then a lightweight ladder would come in out of nowhere from the side, which Izuku's like, so that's how you get those basically smoke bombs up there, huh? She goes like, huh? So Izuku immediately goes into his utility belt, grabs out 3 smoke bombs, and throws them basically hitting the ground, which covers the room, which he basically tells her to aim in the direction Momo was, which she does. Izuku immediately, runs through the smoke, right after Ryoko sends everything towards Momo. Momo would already been out of the way, but Izuku basically uses this, to his advantage and actually goes, enhancing his body with Remnant and moving faster than, he could beforehand. And literally before Momo can get back into position or get near the bomb, they hear, Hero Team wins! And yeah. So, anyways, after the smoke clears, Izuku's still touching the bomb. He goes, and sorry about that. You win. She goes, impressive. Nice teamwork. He goes, it was just based on the fly thinking. And you did really well on basically, covering this place with actual traps. I guess you had traps for basically thin basically thread, like fish line, and it had like small little, how should I say, magnets to it? Metal thread. She goes, yep. He was interesting on that. Anyways, come on. I think we should get down. Ryoko, do you think Hagakure made it to a place where she can actually get some clothing on? Which she just nods. He goes, that's good to know. But still, I really do feel bad for what I did. But she goes, I don't think it's bad. You only saw her basically face and hair. She goes, still, I think if I basically, if I wasn't the way I was, I couldn't imagine. And which basically, I don't know why, but I can just see Izuku literally looking like there's a depressing cloud around him, and it's just a purple one, like, and a little bit of like purple rains going, which I just think it would be kind of funny, because it's not funny. Whatever. So yeah, so Izuku basically gets back to the observation room. Ryoko and Momo too, along with Hagakure having clothes on. And so everyone's kind of shocked by her. All Might, she's just happy, basically. Her quirk has changed now. And yeah, pretty much. They asked basically who had the better strategy, Momo's team, Momo and Hagakure, or Izuku and Ryoko. I think it would be kind of a hard, difficult thing, because even though basically the teamwork that, basically the plan was for Momo, she made traps to confuse them so she can basically go in with her staff, and take them out one by one, while Hagakure would basically try to weaken them or distract them enough. Or basically the fact it was basically about Izuku and Ryoko's plan. So I think it'll be kind of a tie between both teams, heroes and villains. And everything, else would go into canon, Bakugo's team won, and after that, everything else goes the same. So, I still got some time. So basically, Hagakure is basically thanking Izuku for what he did. He still apologizes again, and she says it's no problem. He basically, Izuku goes home and told his mom about his day. She literally says, well, you didn't know what you can do, and it's fine. But still, ask people next time for permission. He goes, yes, Mom. But at least you helped her. He was like, by accident. If any more remnant basically went into her, it could have been drastic, poisonous. I'll have to basically take it out slowly from her in the middle of the... and basically the train exercise, basically, or something bad would have happened. Permanently damage to her. Everyone would have found out, basically, my quirk is also dangerous. I'm just glad there was no side effects. She goes, you looked at it? He goes, yes, I looked at basically what was happening. It was a small amount of remnant that was already inside of her. So, in a sense, it was basically fixing a problem or calling to her desire just to be seen. At least it basically shuts off and on and off. I'll have to keep it basically, how should I say, an eye on her, and you can basically, in a medical way, check on her progress every few days, and if so, try to keep the remnant stable. Which basically, Inko could nods to that, and yeah, Cassidy basically would basically just like looking at Izuku and Inko. She was like, so, how's the new body for me coming along? Which Izuku was like, it should be here probably any day. Charlie's the one who's basically bringing it. She goes, really? As then all of a sudden, Charlie appears. And she goes, it took a while. He goes, hey Charlie. He goes, Izuku, how was your day? He was like, you honestly don't want to know. It was just one thing after another. And he just basically, was putting his hand over his face, and then, when he was saying that. And she goes, oh, come on, tell me. So he kind of explained. She goes, wow, I didn't know you could do that. He goes, me neither. I'm just glad I only saw her face. Nothing else. She goes, yeah, if you did, I would have basically beaten you. He goes, hey, I didn't know. But still, he was like, I didn't know. But I found out. And I also found out I could see electricity and electric waves around people. So, comes in handy now, huh? She goes, yeah, but still. He goes, I know. Ask people for permission first. Or, if someone's invisible, never try it. Just good. So, basically, a body that's similar to Charlie is there. She's like, okay, so what can I do with this? She goes, well, basically, like, with my body, you can eat. She goes, seriously? She goes, uh-huh. That's how it feels it. You don't have to be recharged. She goes, wow, so I just have to eat and sleep? Uh-huh. So does that mean I have to go? Nope, don't have to use the bathroom. You can pretend to, but, She goes, is it yes, it's waterproof, heat-proof, cold-proof. You basically you don't have to ever get it fixed unless it gets damaged by hit by a car. Well, actually, no, more like a truck. She goes, thanks, Charlie. Tell Hasashi I said thanks, too. She basically nods. She goes, how's everyone else? She basically says they're doing fine. They're happy to have their animatronic bodies. She just basically smiles at that. She goes, as long as they're happy. So, after that, Charlie possesses the body, and, first time eating food with basically them. So, Charlie, since basically Inko was still in an apartment, she doesn't really have much room, so, she basically is testing out what the body can do. She also found that she basically turned herself to a teenager. So, yeah, she's kind of like, maybe I should get all set to clothing. Which Izuku was like, yeah. It's a good thing you're in the bathroom when you basically found that out. She goes, uh-huh. So, what happens is, like, Inko tells Hasashi says, alright, I will send some money, find a place. She goes, I will. So yeah. So what happens is, well, I'm just gonna say this: the USJ, we're gonna like go to it, but everything will go into canon. Ida will be, named the class representative. Izuku will technically get a firearm, for stun bullets, basically. He does carry the holster and magazines with him. I would say that since he just can, make, as long as there's one bullet in a magazine, he can basically make more into each one of them, or, basically glitch it into existence. So yeah. So he only needs those magazines. So anyways, Shigaraki would do exactly the same thing. They would get the file, and Izuku will find, he would basically feel a large amount of remnant. He would find it, and he would see Shigaraki. I mean, not Shigaraki, he would see, Kurogiri. He goes, hey, why you, as before he can get any answer, basically Kurogiri left through his warp gate, basically. He's like, damn it. He basically goes over to Nezu. Well, actually, he teleports to Nezu, and basically Nezu's like, oh, Midoriya. He goes, hey, Nezu, there was some guy with basically some smoke around him. He took a file. He goes, wait, what? He goes, yeah, look, I don't know what it is, but can I see the computer real quick? He goes, certainly. Did he have a camera in basically the file room? He basically goes, yes. As when he basically pulled it up, it was off. He goes, okay, let me try this. So he's basically working on it, but his eyes are glowing, and then his actual hands are. And as you can see, the computer actually is starting to get these weird blue, purple codes in it. It's all of a sudden the camera's back on, but when basically it actually can play what was happening. So it basically sees Kurogiri, coming into existence in basically the records room. And then, again, the file, as they zoom in on it, goes, schedule for basically Class 1A. Which goes, oh, this may be a problem. He goes, yeah. Basically, they also see him open up the door, and, well, basically Kurogiri leaving, and then Izuku teleporting away. Which, he goes, well, I got everything basically here. It seems like, as soon as I hacked into the camera, and basically I had it played, and, play the recording also affected that it was still on. Playing like it was still on. That's unusual. He goes, yeah, especially when you basically helped out Hagakure. By the way, good job on that. And I also, from all what you found out. My condolences to basically your embarrassment. It was funny. He goes, really, Nezu? He goes, what? I have some good tea. He goes, whatever. Anyways, so, should we still have any other events that are happening? He goes, yes, we cannot let them know. We can only plan ahead, wisely and carefully. He goes, yeah. Today's the USJ, right? He goes, uh-huh. You also could understand what was happening, too, when you were in my computer. He goes, yeah, sorry about that. I don't even know about the USJ, I swear. He just sighs, but could not be helped. Well, anyways, get back to class. Tell Aizawa meeting will happen in a quick one. And, well, everyone will be there. So, yeah. Izuku does go to the class and tell them, basically, Aizawa. When Aizawa gets to the room, he's like, alright, Nezu, what's wrong? Everyone basically was about to tell who's the class president and vice president. Well, she goes, we have a problem. Someone got into UA. Which, basically everyone's, all the teachers, including all my shots, he's in a skinny mite. Endeavor was called too. Which, he's like, what do you mean? He goes, Izuku Afton. Well, Izuku Midoriya Afton sense remnant. Which, basically, Aizawa goes, and I said, okay, even though I was told, I still knew it. Which, that kind of shocks everyone. Even All Might. But Endeavor, he keeps quiet. All he can think of is this. All he can think of is basically an Afton that helped him to get to the number 2 spot. He goes, was he, which basically Nezu knows. He goes, yes, he was the previous number three's grandson. Which, I mean, not he was, he is. He goes, I see. Which everyone's kind of shocked that he's not basically demanding basically an Afton to get out of school. And basically, I think some people are actually kind of concerned. But he goes, listen, I know what you may are thinking. I swore to him that I would not tell, but for him to basically not have any suspicions on him, I will inform you that he basically could sense something called Revenant, which is the agony of somebody. And that's how he's going to be in this video. So he basically brings up the footage, what Kurogiri takes, what they zoom in on, and then basically showing that Izuku basically says, hey, who are you basically? And then he basically Kurogiri just leaving. Which basically Izuku then glitches and teleports to Nezu. In which he goes, and that's what basically he got from us. Well, for us. Which basically All Might goes like, so, whoever this was basically took a file for Class 1A events. Which Aizawa was like, this ain't good. We shouldn't... I would say we shouldn't go to the USJ, but if we don't, they'll find something out. I find it suspicious, so... we'll have to. We'll have some extra security, right? Which basically... Nezu nods. He goes, Endeavor, Mirako, Midnight, basically President Mike, you'll be with Shoto. I mean, you'll be a Razorhead, along with All Might. He goes, but Nezu, my 3 hours. He goes, I know you took your time basically helping out people to get, here. But still. He just sighs, he's like, alright. So, basically, I think some other heroes will, snipe, without me. He goes, well, you should also be there, but, you think you can get there ahead of time? Like, using the back entrance? Which he nods. And it's a covered fire for any students that basically get separated. He nods too. He goes, alright, I could do that. He goes, thank you, Snipe. Which, basically, Paolo goes like, well, this is gonna be pretty dicey. The cover girl's like, hopefully no one will get too badly hurt. Which basically Nezum says, I hope so too. But let's go. So yeah. Basically, look, like I said, Ida's basically a vice president, basically class president, then Momo's vice president, Izuku literally gave it to Ida. So yeah. And then, USJ time. Basically, everyone can see Izuku actually has, like, say, a sidearm. And basically, then, like, a dagger. Yeah, a combat knife, basically, which actually kind of shocks them. So, I think, like, Denku's like, yo, why you, he goes, oh, have a firearm dagger? If I don't want to transform, I, want to keep that with me. I'll, keep these on me at all times. Besides, I want everyone to know my tricks. Which, everyone kind of understands that. So they all talk about their quirks, but they really, basically, I would say this, Sue would go like, Midoriya, your quirk seems very unique. As you say, is there anything else you do not know about it? He was plenty. Honest and truth, I found out after what I did to basically the 0 pointer, I could basically heal myself. Which they like, huh? So Izuku literally takes out his basically, combat knife and cuts his hand, which everyone basically sees it. Basically like the cut, and then immediately, before any blood is shown, he basically wills his hand to basically heal, and it's glitching. Which they're amazed by that. He goes, yep, pretty much. I really don't know what I can do. It's really complicated. Which basically Sue says, I understand. So, after that, after a while waiting, basically people were actually kind of wondering why Shoto was wondering why Endeavor's there, basically, but he knows Shoto knows Endeavor's looking at Izuku. and there's no hatred. Just a sense of he basically sees a sense of guilt. So he's actually curious why. What's so special about him? So after that, little thing, we basically get them off. Araka has her fangirl moment with 13, and then basically villains arrive. So yeah, Gary and basically Shigaraki would see more heroes than they should be. Was actually kind of surprised. And basically, All Might was there. Not in buff form. He basically he basically went with Snipe ahead of time. And yeah, Snipe is basically in a area where he actually can see all around the base, and get a good shot in, as you can say. So Shigaraki's like, "What the? How are there more people here? Didn't it say it was only supposed to be All Might, 13, and Eraserhead?" Which Kiri goes, "Yes, Master. They should have only been. I do not know why they're here." He goes, "Doesn't matter." Yeah, basically them, as he's pointing to the other villains. So, Aizawa, Mirako, President Mike, Midnight go in, along basically Razorhead. Kirigiri would try to come in as a normal, saying he's gonna basically send everyone, basically, separate them. But Izuku just kind of claps, which kind of basically, surprises Kirigiri for a minute. He's like, well done. It seems you can do something. Izuku's tone and personality goes to William mode, which even Cassidy, in her basic ghost form, which Hagakure can see, which she's keeping quiet because she wants to ask him in private. Which he goes, "What do you mean?" He goes, "You're Quirk. But something seems so off. You don't seem right. You seem like you're a dead man walking." But what you're about to do, I say you aren't going to try it now. After all, you're not welcome here. As basically Zuko just has his hand glow as Kirigiri's body is basically not moving, Quirk not even acting, he just shoves him away, pushing him, sending him flying back to Shigaraki as he basically hits the ground in front of him. He's like, "Kirigiri, what happened?" He was like, "I'm sorry. It's just someone that has a powerful Quirk there." As he goes, "Then bring it out." He goes, "But, sir, All Might." He goes, "It doesn't matter. The number 2 heroes here. Even the number 6. We're not standing a chance about it." Yeah, so basically they bring out the Nomu. What happens next is Izuku suddenly sees many different souls. Basically, the chains on, from the Nomu to the souls. As something in him, he doesn't understand, but he's angry, he's mad, he's furious. But then he hears this voice as he goes, "Those poor people, even the children, they did what I did. No, I'm like them, a monster." Which Izuku's not understanding. As then all of a sudden his eyes go white, and his hair is starting to turn more purple, and his skin is slowly starting to, which everyone's not understanding. That's there. Basically, Cassie's like, no, it can't be. As Hagakure is like, what does she, she's thinking it is. But Ryoko's like, "Izuku!" Certainly Midoriya, but, yeah, just for the sake of it, Midoriya for now. But inside of it, she says, "Midoriya!" Everyone's freaking out now. Because something's seeping off of him, remnant. As then, basically what happens next is simple. Izuku is in his mind. He's like, and it's white. He goes, "What the? What's going on?" As then he hears someone's walking to him. He basically looks, he sees a man with basically long hair that's in a ponytail, basically. Purple skin and basically white eyes. I don't know. I think this would be like kind of because he's remnant. So, I mean, basically, yeah. This is basically remnant. Basically, William Afton. Basically, even though he died, he's still part. He's basically, his agony was part of the suit. So the genetic code of him is there. So he basically walks up to Izuku. He's like, "So you're my great-great-grandchild, huh?" It's been a while since I ever seen the kid. Which he goes, "Wait, you're..." He basically backs up and he goes like, "William Afton in the flesh, so to speak. You're not strong enough to handle what needs to be done, kid. Take a back seat." He goes, "I'm not gonna let you kill..." No, he basically... all of a sudden, like, chains come out of nowhere, wrap Izuku basically mouth, and, basically pulls him into a chair. He goes, "I'm not gonna kill anyone. Those souls you saw, they're trapped. Remnant is keeping them. Their bodies, the dead, were basically put together into a mangled mess. And wherever those lights are, as I can guess from your basically memories, is the Quirks. There's more than one. It's not human no more. It's just a monster, a zombie. And I'll put them to rest. I'll set them free. I will not let something like this happen." Which Afton all of a sudden disappears from Izuku's like, "No, I can't let him." He's basically trying to break free, but he can't. He's wondering why he can't use his power. As all of a sudden, back in the real world, the remnants from Izuku was basically coming off. Literally, then seeps back in, like full force was brought back. As basically he starts moving. When basically 13 basically tries to stop him, he goes, "Pro hero, step aside. Those souls need to be saved." Which basically Izuku's voice not Izuku no more. It's Williams, which Cassie's like, her rage, but for some reason, she's angry that William is here, but she knows it's Izuku. She's thinking he's controlling his body when she heard souls needs to be saved. She's like, "No, it can't be. Why is he..." As basically she, 13 is looking at Izuku, she just sees no eyes, no pupils, nothing. But he's basically dead serious that she can sense or tell that if she doesn't move, she may get hurt. So she moves, and he basically says, "Thank you." Everyone doesn't know what's going on, but he's just walking down. Basically, while he's walking, he just looks at the Nomu. And what happens is, though, while this was all happening, heroes were fighting the villains, and, well, the Nomu came in, trying to take down Endeavor. Endeavor's been trying its hardest, even though the power of the flame, his flames is doing damage to it. It's regenerating too fast. I do think if they basically would give it basically a fire resistance quirk or something, so that way if it ever went to the fire area of the USJ, it wouldn't have that much trouble. But everyone's starting to hear something. Even though the battle's going on, everyone's trying to fight each other. Everyone hears the sound of footsteps that make everything go silent. Including the Nomu stops moving. Like a presence that is pure evil. Malice in the air. Anger. Hatred. Something that even most darkest person will fear. As they just hear, "How many souls have been tortured by you? How many people have been brought back from the dead to be chained? What have you done to them?" Which that sends shivers down Shigaraki's spine. Which the souls who are seeing, who are seeing basically everything, you're seeing Izuku, well, basically William in Izuku's body, in control basically, can see them looking, well, actually, he sees them looking at them. He goes, "You'll be free soon. Don't worry." Which, they be kind of shocked. Basically, Razorhead's the first one who goes, "Bravo, child, stay out of it!" As in, all of a sudden, multiple chains shoot out of the ground, wrapping around all villains. and bring them down, knocking them out. Which, it wasn't even a flick of a finger. It was just a slight twitch of his finger, basically. And that what happened, which Izuku's actually shocked. He goes, "There's so much you can do, kid, with Remnant. So much power potential you have. Now, let me show you someone who's been around longer than you who know how to use it." Which, if you really think about it, even though William Afton died, his genetic code from the suit, he would have enough time to know what he can do. So, right when he basically lifts up his hand, all the villains that were basically in the USJ are immediately sent to a jail cell. Basically, that's nearby. That basically he at the police station, at a police station that it passed every day, from to UA, which everyone at the police station don't understand how the heck did multiple villains get into a basically jail cell, which is just shocking. Which Shigaraki was like, what the? Only Shigaraki, Kirigiri, and the Nomu are there. Which Endeavor seeing this, he's really shocked. Basically, he goes, "That's only a small taste what you can do, kid. Now then, you." He looks at the Nomu. He goes, "You'll be free soon, and you'll go back to your loved ones." Basically, Shigaraki goes like, "Nomu, kill him!" As the Nomu screeches at him, and rushes. Basically, the heroes are not fast enough. Aizawa tries to stop, basically, the Quirk of the Nomu, but then all of a sudden, multiple chains shoot out of the ground, but basically hooks keep piercing the Nomu's body and bringing it down to its knees. He goes, and then basically he goes, "So much agony, so much pain, so much torment you have done to them. And even though I do not need this, to break it I must feed off the remnant, to break their chains." So he legit puts his hand into the Nomu's body and forcibly removing the remnant, aka, basically the remnant from them, but also the quirks. As they can see something glowing. Basically, they see these small orbs are glowing with that. All of a sudden, chains are basically coming out of the Noma's body, and they're seeing basically at least, I would say, 4 people, no, 10 people basically. Basically, women, teenagers, and at least 2 kids, but mostly adults. So what they see then is Zuko, what they think is slowly ripping it out. These balls of this basically, orbs. As when he does, he basically, actually slowly lifts up his hand, and the gnome can see it. He goes, "Now, rest for all eternity," and crushes them. But also by doing that, he basically absorbs the remnant, aka, since the quirk was forcibly put into it, the Nomu, and basically the souls of those people that were part of the Nomu, which of course was the only thing that kept them alive. In this case, was the quirk itself. The Nomu falls flat dead. And he basically then took that power, you can say. So he has shock absorption, regeneration, and he really had super strength. So I'm going to say they also have heat resistance too. So, yeah. He basically just says, so many souls of basically the body parts were put into this thing. He's looking at Kirigiri and Shigaraki. He was like, "And you will pay for what you've done." As he literally summons out basically 2 javelins. He's about to throw them at them, but Kirigiri gets them out of there, and basically they just hear Izuku just go like, "Monsters. I should let the kid take back over. I think I caused a lot of trouble." Isn't that right, Cassidy? As he looks over basically where the, stairs are, and he just kind of grinning at her. And she's basically angry, furious, basically hatred is flowing off of her. As he goes, "Temper, temper. You don't really want to basically hurt him, do you?" remember, the suit, I already basically gained so much pain from it. I forgot my genetic code was a part of it. Besides, I was forced to go there. After all, my remnant was there, so I had enough time to learn everything I could. Doesn't mean I'm actually am still around. I just need to help him out. As then, all of a sudden, Remnant slowly is leaking off of Izuku again, but his body is turning back to normal, and then the Remnant goes back into him, basically. As Izuku then falls flat on his back, knocked out. Everyone's confused what happened, but what they see next is, they see people, still being there. They go over to him, and they all basically, holding their hand, basically, as they're fading, they all say thank you for freeing us, basically, and, yeah. William Afton is still around, no matter what. He always comes back, basically. But yeah, so basically, as they disappear, Aizawa was like, okay, did anyone know what the heck just happened? Endeavor's like, I don't know, but some of those people were in basically murder cases I basically worked with the police on. How would they still around if they're dead? Wait, could they have been ghosts? Which, basically, Miracle's like, ghosts don't exist! Razorhead basically goes, well, if they were still here, and we could see them, but they're dead, they have to be ghosts. I don't know what's going on, but we'll have to get some answers from him. So he's looking at Izuku, which Endeavor says, for now, let him rest. He acted like that wasn't himself. So yeah. So basically, Razorhead's kind of shocked, along with Miracle, Midnight, and President Mike. But President Mike was like, yeah, that was kind of freaky. Which Midnight agrees. So, yeah, basically, no one was hurt. Everything happened. They basically went back to UA, and Izuku was in basically the nurse's office, which he had no, problems. The fact is, Inko was called along with Hasashi, so they're getting the rundown, sort of. They had to wait for Izuku. And meanwhile, though, his mindscape, Afton Williams basically goes like, well, that's how it's been done, kid. I'll let you go. Sorry about that. He just snaps his fingers as everything, poof, gone. He goes, you didn't kill no one. He goes, look, I may have basically killed the kids, but I went blind and I went with my whole entire life trying to basically help out. I was in a bad place. But hey, I'm immortal, and seems some of my family's still around. Hopefully. He goes, do you want to? No. I shouldn't really see them. I mean, I died, and I went to the animatronic, because I was supposed to be here. So, I didn't possess it, but my remnant was a part of it. So that means you're... Yep, I'm always around, kid. I won't take over, only unless you needs to. You have to try to figure out a way how to do what I did. On your own. Seriously, though, if they basically have any more of those creatures like that, don't show no mercy to the people who basically get what they did. You have to end their lives. Because if you don't, more people that are already dead will come back. And, well, depending on who it is, they may actually be able to be strong to possess those corpses. Which Izuku's eyes wide and he goes, yeah. Just like the kids possess the animatronics. So be careful. But Izuku just nods, and Izuku leaves, while William just goes back into his little area he made. And we basically have Izuku waking up in the nurse's office now. So, in a sense, Izuku's like waking up, which Inko's there. She goes, Izuku, you're awake. He goes, my head. what happened to me? Which Hasashi goes, you're passed out. We don't know. They just said something happened that you're the one who can explain. Which the heroes are there. You know, basically, along with basically the detective that's All Might's friend. That basically gonna tell the truth or a lie. Which he's like, basically All Might's like, young Midoriya. Or should I say, he's Midoriya. He's, alright then, Midoriya. Which he looks at Nezu and goes, I had to tell them just in case someone may suspect you were basically working with them. I'm sorry if I... He goes, no, I understand. Smart move to do. But only them, right? He nods. He goes, good. He goes, so what do you guys need? He goes, we need to understand what happened. Why did your skin go purple and your eyes went fully white? Even your hair turned purple. He goes, well, as soon as I saw that Nomu, or that creature, which basically in Red's head goes, Nomu. He goes, well, that Nomu then, I felt rage, hatred, anger, fury. I wanted nothing more but to destroy it. Which that kind of shocks Hasashi and Inko, including everyone else. He goes, they bound those souls, those people to it. As he slowly starts to go purple, which Inko's like, sweetie, here, calm down. He goes, which just by him remembering it, literally was making him go purple, basically, purple guy mode. Which he's slowly, calming down. Which then he goes like, souls. He goes, yes, the people that have died. I can only probably see them. They have remnants, agony, basically, as they are attached to an object, like an animatronic, or a vase or a vase, something that could be used, any sort of item, a doll even. It also has enough agony, a pain of somebody, the sorrow, as it attached to it, it has some sentimental value to someone. If someone basically dies while holding it, they will possess that thing. Their soul will be attached to it. Which then Nezuko goes like, so that means... He goes, yep. That means I may be able to see them. Which Eraser's head goes like, so all those people that we saw were used to create that thing. Well, that Nomu. Plus their quirks. Plus a few of them quirks were basically in it. But then Endeavor says, but who was the one that did the, who was the one that did the deed since your voice was different? Which Eraserhead realizes along with basically President Mike and Midnight. Which that kind of confuses basically Inko and Hasashi, and Izuku's hesitant to say it, but he goes, William Afton. Which that surprises everyone. But even Hasashi goes, no, he should have been dead. He died. He couldn't be around. Which, he's basically freaking out. He goes, Dad, he was still attached to the suit. Remember he sprint locked once? Which his eyes widen and he sits back down. Because he basically stand up real quick when he said that. He goes, so that means when he died, finally, his soul went to the suit. But why he couldn't control it? There was enough agony, enough remnant in there. So where he basically could still live, but without control. So that literally shocks everyone. He goes, but that means his agony, his remnant, and him merged with me. He's not in control at all. He said I need to learn to do that on my own. Which Nezu goes like, what? To destroy the chains that are holding the souls attached to these Nomus and take their remnant, which is physically their quirks. Which that shocks everyone, including All Might. Basically, All Might goes, so what does that make you then? The embodiment of remnant. Which that kind of even freaks All Might out a little bit. But basically, I think just like Prison Might go like, so, how, when you said his remnant merged with you, what does that mean? Basically, Hisashi doesn't want to say enough, but Inko, doesn't want to either. But Izuku goes like, simple. As he basically legit, just kind of chuckling, goes, there's only one way. I thought you had to figure it out. Nezu knows. Even Aizawa knows only a little bit of detail, but no one else does. But Endeavor puts the pieces together. He goes, the suit. What suit was it? He goes, oh, quite simple. As then he transforms into it, he goes, it was Springtrap. Which, everyone was shocked by that. So, Midnight goes, even Midnight and Miracle just looking at him, but Prison Might goes, so that means you're, I'm neither dead or alive. I'm just here existing, and you really can't get rid of me at all. I'll always come back. Yeah, nice catchphrase. As then he changes back to his human form. But he keeps the bunny ears out, because he had an itch with them. Which Miracle is like, rabbit ears? He goes, I'm a rabbit. What do you expect? He goes like, so that's just a part of the transformation, but the Springtrap suit is basically a rabbit. And I have another rabbit form that isn't robotic looking. Actually, it's just a suit, but still. Might be because of a lapse in time. Which they go like, huh? Which then he goes like, is this a theory? He goes, yeah. Reason why I can transform into the other one. As then he basically goes into Glitch Trap. And then he basically, comes out, he goes like, it's because William was never spring-locked in the suit. Which everyone's kind of confused. He goes, he basically went blind because of an accident. And he never was spring-locked. So for a long time, the suit waited. The missing kids waited, and when one of them saw me, she led me to it, and spring-locked I went. Turned me into Springtrap. And Glitch Trap, then myself. So yeah. Which Endeavor's like, so, this remnant, is it dangerous? Absolutely. But then Ariza goes like, but Hagakure, he goes, she only has a little bit of mount. She's fine, but I'm still gonna keep an eye on her, making sure nothing happens. I'll not let anything happen to her, sensei. So he's just looking at Izuku and nods. So basically, Nezu's like, so, are you the only one that can free them? Which everyone's confused besides Hisashi and Inko. And he goes, yes, I am. To keep them not bound from the, to the body, you have to destroy it, physically, or take the remnant out. But the problem is, only high enough flames could destroy it. Probably a blue amount of flames could. Which Endeavor is basically thinking he needs to train more. So, basically, I see. Will you be able to do what you need to do for them? He goes, have to train, and it's going to be hard. I don't want to basically destroy the soul, basically. So, and as he goes like, I see. Alright. Try to get control over your power more, Izuku. He goes, yeah. He basically goes, yeah, I will. I'll try. Which, basically, walking away, which All Might's like, where are you going, Nezu? He goes like, that's all we needed to know. We want to find out what was going on and who were those people. Even though they're dead, they should have been never seen again. And who was basically controlling him? We found out it was basically a serial killer named William Afton. We will not release this to the public. He is basically a embodiment of Remnant. A being basically that cannot be contained, cannot be stopped, and someone that we would not want to make an enemy. And he has the heart of a hero. So I do believe we have no further discussions, which All Might, basically agrees along with everyone else. But Razorhead's looking at basically Izuku and goes like, well, it looks like basically there's a future #1 hero standing right in front of me. Which Izuku was like, huh? And he was like, I always thought your grandfather should have been #1 besides this meathead. Which basically, All Might's like, hey! Basically, though, Izuku sees, Endeavor still there. He's like, do you need something to me, Mr. #2? Endeavor? He's like, Hisashi, it's been a while. He goes, yeah, Enji, it has. Which Inko's like, remember, hero, father. Which, she was, right. He just says, I am sorry I wasn't there at your father's funeral. I couldn't. He goes, I don't blame you for what happened. Please stop blaming yourself. Which Izuku's like, huh? Which Hisashi sighs and be like, I'll explain it more another day, Izuku. But I would like you to meet a person who is trying to become #1 so badly my father had to beat some sense into. Which Endeavor just chuckles. He goes, I owe a lot to your father and your grandfather. I would like to talk in private later. I have to go see my family. I have to fix something a lot. I have to fix a lot of things. So yeah, Endeavor just leaves, and Razorhead goes like, huh, you broke him. Good job. Extra credit. Which, he just leaves going, what did I do? So, basically though, Hisashi just chuckles like, alright, Izuku, let's get going home, alright? He goes, yeah, I'm confused. Which, again, he chuckles. So, this is where we're going to leave it off, everyone. Hope you guys enjoy it. I am probably going to make the Overlord after this uploads. If not, then I have some trouble with it. And it didn't upload properly, so I will probably have to wait, try to upload again. It will take some time. But I will make the, Overlord, even including if it's 3 in the morning. I will make it just so I can work on other stuff. Alright? Okay. Bye, everyone.